The Rise and Shine podcast series is made possible by the generous support of Bonnie Vozar of Chicago, Illinois.
It took one little girl 5 minutes to educate a bunch of educators about the meaning of life. It took one jewel of a child to help me see that the answers are always within reach of one another's hands.
This is Rise and Shine, a podcast that offers timeless wisdom and uplifting meditations to fill your heart, feed your soul, and start your day on a positive note. Here is Adrienne Gold Davis.
Her name is Adi, which means jewel in Hebrew, and she's 6 years old and nonverbal. She lives at a place in Israel called ADI Negev. Founded in 2005, this 40-acre ADI Negev Nachalat Eran Rehabilitation Center was actually named to honor the memory of Eran Almog, the late son and guiding light of the founders Didi and Major General Reserve Doron Almog. Fueled by his love for Iran, who was born with severe autism and cognitive disabilities, Doron Almog led the creation of the Rehabilitation Village, a community where people from diverse backgrounds at all levels of ability can live and heal and grow together. So we arrived there on a beautiful December day to this jewel in the Negev with a bus full of Jewish educators from around the world on our inaugural educators trip with Momentum. Now, I had framed that day with the value of human dignity, or in Hebrew, kevod habriyot, and that translates literally to honor of the creations, and it's based on the principle that every single human being is created b'Tselem Elokim, in the image of the Creator, and inclusion and the creation of places and spaces that ensure the dignity of each human being is not just a mandate, it's an obligation. But I was worried about this tour. I worried it might feel like performative, that we kind of tour the place and feel like we were watching them like spectators, that we would be there to be proud of what we'd accomplished and what they'd accomplished there, but somehow detached from it. We, the able-bodied, able-minded, observing those who had to be accommodated and included. But as God would have it, the paradigm quickly shifted as a 6-year-old girl taught us more in 5 minutes than I have understood about this concept in my entire lifetime. Like most of us, I have struggled since childhood with the desire to access truth, meaning, and clarity for my existence, the meaning of life. Why am I here? What is my purpose? What is asked of me in this transmigration of my soul? And I have always pursued very forward-facing ways of engaging with this question. I believed that the answer was the key to living, and I'd keep digging and searching till I found it. You know, the Jewish people, we have a prayer that is more accurately a mission statement. It's the Shema prayer. It goes like this: Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Hear, O Israel, the Lord our God, the Lord is one. We say it when we get up in the morning and before we close our eyes at night. It is said as we draw our last breath. It is whispered into the ear of our babies from the moment they come into the world. But this oneness, what precisely does it mean? That God is one? Well, certainly that's the first and second commandments of the 10 Commandments. I am the Lord your God who took you out of slavery in Egypt, and then you shall have no other gods before me. But did you know the Shema is also a haiku? You know, that's that Japanese poetic style of 5 syllables, then 7 syllables, then 5 syllables. Shema Yisrael, that's 5. Adonai Eloheinu, that's 7. Adonai Echad, that's 5. And what about the statement, there's nothing but God? Ein od milvado. That all reality stems from and exists within the divine with no independent existence apart from God. So as we move through this rehabilitation center, through their farm with horses and horse therapy and the gardens that are tended by all those who lived at ADI Negev. We were stopped for a minute between two buildings where a bunch of kids were playing. And there was a cluster of us women, about 40 of us. We were enjoying the sunshine and the marvel of this epic place when into the mix comes a young girl named ADI. She walked up to me and she grabbed my hand. So I thought she wanted to hold hands and start to dance. No, said one of the facilitators. She was standing very nearby us. She said, she doesn't want to dance. She wants you to join hands with the woman standing beside you. So I did as she asked, and I held the hand of the woman who was standing beside me. And then ADI moves quickly. She actually skipped from woman to woman, and she's grabbing each of our hands and attaching them with purpose to the other hand. And if we let go even for a minute of each other's hands, she would circle back and reattach us. And she did this, I am telling you, till we are all joined together, this disorganized cluster of 40 grown women attached by the hands. Now, she didn't speak. She simply did what she is compelled to do: create oneness. Now, this is not necessarily a cognitive thing, although I was told by one of the teachers that I was traveling with that she'd seen this behavior before with other special needs children. But what I saw with total clarity was a compulsion of ADI's soul. Because a soul is not constricted by a physical body that can sometimes confuse and obstruct the soul's yearnings. This is a soul that understood intrinsically that together is to gather, that creating oneness is the primary work of the human being, joining hands to make physical something that her soul seemed to know already exists in the spiritual realm, that we are all one. When we other the other, when we draw lines between people based on their physical abilities, their financial status, their fame, or even their personalities, we lose sight of our intrinsic oneness. It took one little girl 5 minutes to educate a bunch of educators about the meaning of life. It took one jewel of a child to help me see that the answers are always within reach of one another's hands. So this week, can we seek to figuratively join hands and hearts in our homes, in our offices, in our public spaces? Can we search for and name the human dignity and teaching opportunities that surround us in places we might not have expected? And can we remember what the Beatles said in their first #1 hit in North America and sing it out? I want to hold your hand.
Thanks for listening to Rise and Shine. Don't forget to rate, review, and subscribe to Momentum Podcasts on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. Join Adrienne again next time for more timeless wisdom and uplifting meditations that fill your heart, feed your soul, and start your day on a positive note.
This podcast was made possible by the generous support of Bonnie Vozar of Chicago, Illinois. Spread the wisdom. Inspire Jewish individuals around the globe by supporting Momentum's podcasts. To sponsor, contact podcast@momentumunlimited.org. You're listening to a Momentum podcast. For unlimited inspiration, wisdom, and empowerment, visit momentumunlimited.org.